All right, we are doing a practice Rhadue's wheel. Hopefully the camera is there. Where's the camera? There we go. Oh, hello. Okay, that's what we're doing. Okay, so what you do is just shuffle the cards so you feel good about them. Then I'll lay them out in these positions. I have the diagram and the chart because I'm still learning and memorizing this. With the last 8 cards, I will lay face down until the time comes. Okay. And how they do this is one wheel at a time.
Okay.
So the inner, then the middle, then the outer, and then the pillar and the pillar. Excuse me, then this block, then the pillars and the pillars. So that's how it will go.
Okay.
So just get them how you want them to be. And give me whatever feels like when you're done with them. Great.
This way.
However you want to do it.
This way. Like that.
They're really little, huh?
Uh-huh.
Now this is your favorite deck. It's just a slightly smaller version, but it used to be your favorite deck.
I swear I keep seeing one that's upside down, but
It's
I
probably
don't
the
know.
Hangman, or it probably is upside down. Okay,
I don't know.
these feel right to you?
Mm-hmm.
You want to cut them or anything like that? We're just practicing. You don't have to. If you want to cut them, great.
I'm good.
Okay. All right. What we're going to start with is. Whoa. Hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I didn't write that exactly perfectly, but there we go. So there we go. And this is the 6. Okay. And then one right here. And this is considered the solidifier. Ooh, the devil's a solidifier.
What does that mean?
Devil is all about facing the shadow self. This is doing your general inner present right now and things that you're attached to. And then also if you're doing shadow work or shadow lessons, if you're learning to conquer an old habit, that habit could be represented by the devil because you're bound to doing it a certain way. Mm-hmm. So this is something that could be there. This is very interesting to have right there because this is the general life path. This is something that you do that is usually habit, like it could be vices, like, if people are crazy alcoholics or whatever, that might show up. That's not your case. It could be getting over things that create, like when I hermit too much, I stay in the house or whatever. So whatever it is, or it could just be that this is a year where you're entering, but your entry to this season is a little bit of shadow lessons first to make it easier going forward. Mm-hmm. So your inner self and karmic path is the King of Cups. Keep calm and carry on card right here emotionally. Mm-hmm. The security in relationships. This is a time. Some people are gonna. This is security in relationships. She's the Queen of Swords, and she says, "Cut the shit, cut the crap, kids." So you might be getting very clear about boundaries and overcoming them because you're cutting these chains, and it's like, okay, this is a big deal. Mm-hmm. Ideas and philosophies in this current time frame in the present. You want justice. You want karma to do the work that karma does. You want fairness, and you want what's going to be balanced. Background, parents, and home. This is like advancing beyond where you came from, advancing beyond what is your typical background. Sometimes it will reference things like family of origin, things like this, but background, parents, and home, and also the way you've run things is changing. So you're advancing. This is if you think of graduating before you graduate to middle school to high school or high school to college, this is a completion. So very protected time and a well-earned completion. Like if you go on from multiplication to division to blah, blah, blah to pre-algebra, it's a completion. It's one of those completion things. Mm-hmm. Hopes and dreams. You want to be seen as the Queen of Wands. You want to be approachable. You have your confidence about you, your desires and your pleasures you're pretty familiar with. And people are coming to you frequently. This is the one I tell people to be careful with their mojo because they're slinging the vibe a little bit. It means you're very comfortable and getting more and more comfortable in your own skin about your hopes, dreams, and pleasures. What you actually want is taking more precedent than pleasing everybody else. Mm-hmm. Health concerns. Now, this is the Knight of Swords. It's saying be in integrity with your health. Whatever feels integrity to you, health-wise, do it. This is the sword of truth. You'll know. Your body will tell you right fast. If this comes up with health concerns, your body's going to tell you pretty quick. If you've had too many jalapenos and you're pooping fire, you're going to know it. Okay? Just saying, somebody we know, me, does this. Okay. 3 of Pentacles. This is partners and loved ones. There's a sense of unity and teamwork going on right now. This is people coming together, working together, and seeing the benefit of you in their world and the skills that you bring. Mystic symbol is right here. This is portraying potential gains. Now, this sometimes relates to the past life or what you came into the world with as assets that you're accessing now. The best way I can explain it is if somehow before you're born you get a can of all kinds of good stuff, but you're not allowed to open it because we're in the present. This is some of that good stuff that you're opening. This is practicality. This is good with math, good with money, good with numbers, good with abundance and creating more abundance. The ability to multiply, the ability to see value in things is something that you were packed with initially, but you're bringing more and more value to it. You're bringing it like a queen here and like a queen here. Queen of Cups here, distance and travel. This is through space and time. Now you've got the King of Cups over here for your inner self and through space and time and distance and travel. This is somebody being receptive to what was the loss of the past, but able to still dream about moving on in the future. Still have their hopes and dreams together. And you have this queen here too. Interesting counterbalance there.
Mm-hmm.
Life's karmic amplitude. This is what you can juice up if you want to juice up. The Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords isn't always great at communicating, but they witness, they observe, they see things, and they know things. But then they just want to charge off like the knight, and they aren't quite ready. So this is where you'll hold your tongue, but you might say something like, well, you know, and you might say it to your kids, you know, you have this choice or this choice. And they'll be like, oh, that's just genius. You won't have to tell them, you have to do it this way. Where in your younger years, you might have told them that. This, you've witnessed the truth, and you're just showing what you've witnessed. And when you do it well, is super effective in how you communicate. It's also very protective, and it's considered the spy in the camp sometimes because there's a little bit of stealthiness in the knowledge and the wisdom that you carry and the way you communicate. True desire for self and others. This is what's coming in here. This is, I call it to thine own self be true, because this one is where your higher self is calling you up from where you're at now, not to be judgmental and harsh on yourself, but to evaluate how far you've come, what are you doing, and how do you do it from the point of view of your higher self. And it's not something that gets denied. You hear the call, you have to answer your own drum. You have to answer your own music. Mm-hmm. Then King of Cups is in this position of subconscious. There's still a subconscious about money and how do you back the play that you want to make. This is somebody that's accomplished a lot and has security, finally has wealth. He's very much the businessman. He very much has the sense of what money is and how long it takes to build and acquire. Very pragmatic right here subconsciously in the present. Now let's go to the future for a minute. So we go to the future. Whoa, hello, poster paper. And this one, for me, this particular spread is odd in that it does the present, the future, and then the past. Because I read it a little bit differently on other spreads. That's what I was used to. But I'm trying to read it exactly as the book has it. So let's put that one above the king there. Okay. And then we'll set him down into future life activity, the solidifying card. Ooh, truth is going to be big, big, big. Like the queen of not taking any bullshit in the present. That's absolutely how it's going to go. I mean, it's just going to be not just cut the crap, kid. Cut the crap, kid. I cannot listen to this one more day. I cannot... You've been bitching about this for 15 years. When are you going to do something about it? And it's not that you're cold. You're just fucking clear. Clear, clear, clear. Truth, clear, boom. You're going to have clarity a lot coming forward in the future. You have it in the now here. Okay, so what we have on the karmic path, this is strategy too. You might be able to help create clear plans with others because this is part of what your gift is. You have the clarity here. You have the know-how here. You have know-how here. And this is strategy, clear-minded thinking. Really, really strategy. Now this, for me, in many of my reads, comes up as a time signature of over the next 3 months, within the next 3 months. That's what it comes up as. Relationships and security. There's going to be something keeping you up late at night. This is going to be a little bit of mentally trying to think your way out of a paper bag when it's like you need to turn the brain off a little bit. Relationships, overthinking, anxiety, stress, sometimes depression. That might be in the future as far as relationships when your brain is going to that. You can go back to this clarity and figure out which is the one thing you need to know, or do you just need to leave them all on the wall overnight and get yourself to sleep? This comes up when there's sleep disturbances, so just know that can be that going on. Okay, philosophies. This is separating from tradition. Now, since I know you and some of your situation, this is considered the card of poverty and lack, but it's also defying the organized religion or walking away from the traditions of your fathers. Both of it comes into play. Also, where I see it come into play is people's sense of self-worth and self-esteem. When they go into poor little me, poor little match girl, you don't have to stay there very long before you realize, you know, this is okay. Karma's got this. I've got this handled. So your philosophy is different than your forebears. This is the church window, the stained glass window. Mm-hmm. These guys are outside of it. And they're like, yeah, I'm not fucking going in there. If I don't need to be in there, I don't need to be in there. So, but sometimes they figure out that they're outcasts or they're outside the norm. So this can be considered a card of poverty, lack, and ruin, but it lands in the land of ideas, philosophies, and plans. So I think that your plan to be outside of what is traditional and do it in a karmically sensible way for you makes sense. That's what's going on in the future. So what this means is if somebody's going to try and say, oh, come to our little family, whatever, and it's just a little bit too much. Like if somebody's getting baptized or blah, blah, and you don't want to go, you'll go to the after party. You'll be smarter than going if you don't want to go and hang out with too much hoi polloi self-righteousness. You're not going to do it. If you're open to that and it feels right, you'll do it. But it's like you're going to go by your own philosophy over somebody else's brainwashing any day. That's what I'm saying. All right. Then we have parents and home. So here's this, the world where you advance, and then this big cup of love here. This is the optimal in the home. Your home is going to be more harmonious, more happy. The emotions are going to be more balanced and overflowing. There's going to be much more happiness going on in the future, particularly in these next 3 months, because this is the optimum. It's an optimum time for joy to be fluid and flowing in the home environment. Here we have the moon in hopes, desires, and pleasures. There's going to be a little bit of light on this, but not all of it. You won't necessarily see a linear path from A to B. This path goes a long way before you can see the end point, where you can see the goal. And this path is between the gates of fear, and you're not at the gates of fear yet. So it tells me sometime in the future, there's going to be the gates of fear, and you're going to walk through them, you're going to pass them, and you're going to continue on. But your hopes and desires and pleasures may be changing. You don't have enough information or clarity yet about what you desire. Now, if we were doing this in the wheel of the year, we would put more of a time frame on this. This is just saying, don't be afraid of what you want, and don't be afraid to let it emerge. It could be distorted, but things are going to be bubbling up about what you desire. Okay, health concerns. There's going to be a big epiphany, the bolt out of the blue. It's a shake of the foundation. It's a bolt out of the blue, a different way of doing it. Sometimes it's I call it the oh fuck card. It's the card of disaster, ruin, calamity, and it's my favorite card. I love this card. I love this card because like Phil lost his job because his whole company went out of business after 99 years.
Yeah.
These things happen. Life throws you the curveball. One of the people that watches my show calls it the plot twist, which is a beautiful name for it. So you're carrying this sort of truth about your health, but there's a plot twist that comes. There's going to be clarity. We know clarity is right here, and we know the lightning bolt represents the clarity. It breaks through the crown chakra. You're going to rethink something about health concerns. Now, there might be stuff at the foundation. Maybe this is the year that somebody says break a leg, and actually they break a leg, you know. Maybe this is the year where something like that goes, but take care of your foundations a little bit better, and don't be afraid to try something new on the health front that helps improve it, because there is a stability here that if you keep building and doing the old pattern, it doesn't serve you. So you might as well make friends with it and invite it forward right here. This is to do with security, and this is what's giving you anxiety. And if this is to do with somebody external to you and what they're doing, you can't control that, but you can do better in your daily realm. So if this is your partner or your kids coming over, you can have more salads. You can do whatever it is that you want to do for your own health. Or you can let them have their own problems to solve and not freak out about that. So this is health. It's not just physical health that we're talking. We're in the sword suit. This is thoughts. This is about perception. So this is thoughts. The way you think of things is greatly to do with your health. Be aware. Let the clear thinking through. Okay, partners and loved ones. There's a little bit of isolation or solitude. Now, some of us have learned that empty nest is a beautiful place to be. Some of these lessons in solitude are great. And it doesn't mean that your partner isn't still on your page. It just means some spiritual work we do alone. And we're not usually on the same spiritual page all the time with our partner. We are spirits having our own experience. So are they. But this is where you're going a little bit dark night of the soul. You're up against devil energy here, shaking free of an old pattern. You're closing out a cycle and completing it here in the present time. So of course you're going to be learning new spiritual truth coming through. This is big. In the way you do your partnership with more teamwork and the dark night of the soul, you might learn it on a deeper level, but if your partner gets enough of a clue or a smidge of a clue, it's going to make it easier. You're not going to go charging into battle in partnership. Where you charge into battle is for your own mental clarity and health coming through. So overall, these are like landing in great spots for you. Okay, Knight of Rods. A little bit on fire, a little bit bull in the china shop sometimes is in your pack. So you have this gift, the potential gains from the previous past lives is the gift of being able to charge forward when you need to charge forward and know what you've got in your hand already and know how to multiply it. So when the phrase comes, strike when the iron's hot. You know when that strike moment is. It's part of your gifting from the mystic symbol. It's part of you knowing, like, you know how you do Sudoku and you do numbers and you play numbers really great. It's part of you knowing how to juggle the numbers, how to move the numbers, and like, oh, this is the time. This is the time. Here's the sweet spot. Let's go. This is what's going on here. Here we're seeing distance and travel again. And I think you are going to go somewhere, take a trip and journey. The Fool is here, ready to go, ready to go. He's got his kit right there. She's looking back on places that she has been, but still has hopes and dreams. I wouldn't say that you're necessarily going to some place that's an old place that was happy. I think you're going to a new place that's happy. So it could be down the track this year or in the before springtime. You might go on a little bit of a mini road trip that's a little bit different than what you typically do. Like, say you used to go to Wendover all the time and have fun, and then you go up to Lava, or then you go, 2-mile trip. Maybe your 2-mile trip is somewhere else, somewhere a little bit different. This is what it feels like. And it feels like you're also learning to trust. The Fool takes the leap of faith and trusts the universe has him. That's a big thing to do. Distance you're covering is huge. You're getting such clarity, and this is who you're up against in your own shadow self. So you're doing fine on this. You realize there's been losses, and who gives a rip, because you're moving forward anyway. So that's great. Karmic amplitude here. Page of Swords we talked about. This is 9 of Pentacles. This is Miss Independence sitting pretty, all that in a bag of chips. I mean, she's got all the luxury, all the leisure time, all the time that she needs. Some people would think she's kind of spoiled because she can take the time in the garden and do whatever she wants. This is time is her resource that she's got. She's got truth as what she's seen. And the amplitude here is to amplify your own sense of independence. Now, that's a big one. If you come up in families and you're taught certain things a certain way, then sometimes we're taught codependency because our parents role modeled that really well. Or this is how it goes. This is the roles that we play because our parents taught us this. You're doing things independently of that. And this is something you're amplifying in this lifetime, which is really pretty interesting. So when we get to the past, we'll see the recent past. And when we get to over here and over here, we'll see some of the past too. Okay, so now the desires. You're a little indecisive. You know the potential to have everything. Everything is possible, blah, blah, blah. Well, everything landing on your doorstep all at once isn't always a gift because you don't know which thing you want. You need to narrow down the field of choices, get your head out of the clouds of everything is potential, and choose. By the very act of choosing, you're going to eliminate something. That's okay. Choose the thing that is the true desire for you and for others. Choose those desires. One for you, one for others. That's it. Let the others, they'll come in anyway. They're in the field. They're waiting. But you don't have to worry and deliberate and procrastinate. Don't procrastinate. Choose what it is your heart wants. Here, the burden. This is where sometimes you carry other people's lessons too long, or you carry the burden, you're almost home and you meant to set it down. This is to delegate. Subconsciously, don't take on everybody else's crap or try and fix everything. Let them be fucked for a while. Who cares? Let it be screwball for a while. Who cares? It's not your job to do their lessons. And you can't deprive them the blessing of getting their own muscles to carry their shit. They have to. It's like kids learning to walk. You can't do it for them. You just can pick them up, stand them up, and let them try again. All right. So now we go to the recent past, last 28 days. And this is what this person that did this spread has set this up to do. So we're going to recent past, last 28 days.
So basically a month.
Yeah, the last month. And she's pretty particular about this. The person that did this one is Connolly, and she has her own tarot deck. We pop that up there. And this one up there. Okay. And then we'll put this as the solidifier. Whoa, love this. Synchronistic timing. This is the twin flame. This is the 1111 card that people are like, oh, soulmate, soulmates.
I see 1111 all the time. All the time.
That's because you're in the zone. When you're seeing 1111 all the time or the angel numbers all the time, pay attention. You're setting up a new foundation, which is nice to see. You've started setting up this new foundation. This that's been the tower in the future, this that's the bolt coming through, it's not going to phase you too much because you're already starting a new foundational setup. You're already doing things in a new way compared to further back and further back and further back. Mm-hmm. So this is showing that you're already starting to set up a new foundation. All right, we'll go up here. So this is the karmic path. All right, this is Sneaky Pete the Thief. He gets a bum rap, just like the Queen of Swords gets the bum rap as being the bitch, but she's right 99% of the time. He gets the bum rap as being the thief, but he's a stealth one who goes and takes the sword so people aren't dying anyway. He knows what his priority is. He takes those swords out of camp, and there's a reason for it. He lives to fight another day. He's not going to go, well, I'm just going to go into this stupid battle and too bad, so sad, I'm toast. No. So in the past, you've learned to choose your battles. In the future, you're thinking more long term. And in the present, you decide you're going to keep calm and carry on. In the past, this is tradition. This is traditional wisdom. This is established Pope card, the Hierophant. So in the past, this is the established way of doing is no longer serving in the past 28 days. Something about past traditions doesn't always serve. Future, there might be some anxiety, but the Queen will know how to carve out what she's doing. You carve out your own traditions. You'll still have anxiety. Sometimes mommy guilt, or am I doing good enough, or am I stepping up in the way I should? But you have the access to the wisdom there anyway. So the past tradition, even though future you're out in this kind of a way, you're doing it differently, you still have the wisdom. You still know the decent things that all of the religions would teach. All of the established wisdom would teach. Be decent to each other. Be kind humans. As you sow, then you reap. That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have access to deeper truths than that, but they're older truths, and they have been presented in format after format after format. Exterior. It's not high priestess, which is you looking to your own heart. It might be something in a book or a phrase, or I don't know, it could be music or a song, something that's established. Sometimes this will reference jobs or work or establishments,
Mm-hmm.
organized, established foundations and groups and institutions and things like that. That's also reflected in this card. In the past, you're leaving some of this organized establishment behind. It doesn't serve you anymore, but you can take the wisdom from it. You have the keys granted. You've been given the permission, given the access, but you know what to leave on the plate. All right, for philosophies, the star is here. Now, this is the star of hope, healing, second chances. This is your wishes and dreams that are becoming closer and closer to you. And there is a time of healing in the way you think. So really, the way you're framing your thoughts is getting very different this year. This is also a card of Aquarius, and we just entered the big Pluto Aquarius, blah, blah, blah,
On
living
the 20th?
Capricorn. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yep.
So it's right here. You're thinking in the past was a little bit ahead of that Aquarian shift,
Uh-huh.
but it's been that way for a while. So that shift has definitely happened, and the healing times have already happened. You're going to go forward with something outside of the tradition, but you're going to be fine. Karma is right there for you in the present, in the now. It doesn't feel off course at all. Then here we have family, home, parents. Now this is the past. This is where you would ride the white horse for everyone and their damn dog, and it's time to ride for yourself. We've talked about this, you and I, before.
Mm-hmm.
This is when the ideal of doing it perfectly, or being the perfect mom, or being the perfect spouse, or doing it perfectly, or, oh, I really should go help and rescue. And you've seen me do this 1,000 times in my own life, where I mount the white horse for somebody else to my own exhaustion, to my own peril. I think you have outgrown that, but you're still going to have to keep strong and standing for that going forward, because this is the past. This is the now. This is something you're learning. You're learning to offer the cup in the way that you can. It doesn't mean you have to offer to solve everybody's problems and burdens at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hopes, desires, and dreams. Here we have the Seven of Rods. In the past, holding the boundaries, what we were just talking about, is right here. It's right here. In the future, some people are going to be confused by Laura version 2024.
Uh-huh.
That's okay. Let them be confused. Let them be confused. You hold your boundaries and do just fine. You have the higher ground. So the higher moral ground is not how I would put that.
No.
The higher ground, the better viewpoint is what you've got from this too. And you don't have to be defensive to just hold your boundaries. Just say, that's not going to work for me. Sorry, it's not going to work.
I love that saying.
Yeah, it's not going to work for me. So Temperance card is here about health concerns. You're learning balance in this. You're learning your own alchemy. You're going to learn what really serves you well. And this is something that's coming in. I don't know why I'm getting this. I'm getting digestive. You need to pay attention to what really sits well with you and what not.
Mm-hmm.
And Alta, for a long time, like I grew up on meat and potatoes. My kids always had potatoes. For a long time, she didn't know potatoes triggered her digestive and made it crazy. So pay attention to what you're consuming and how you digest and how you're processing. As you do that, you're alchemizing, and you'll get closer results to what you want that makes you feel good. You'll pay attention. You'll know.
Mm-hmm.
This is temperance, and this is a card of moderation. Ugh. But that's what it is. Don't eat too many good and plenties if you're Angie. Just saying. Okay. Then we have here in the past, the Ten of Pentacles. This is harmony, family time, happy time. Holidays have just passed. Recent past 28 days. Legacy. How do you want to leave your mark? This is the card where the grandparents are interacting with the kids. That kind of thing going on in the recent past. Happy times with family, partners, and loved ones. And then you have this time alone that's in the future. It totally makes sense in context of holidays, but also makes sense in the time of where you're at in your life. So that's nothing that phases me too much at all either. This is happy times. You've set down good tracks. You're doing really well on this. Mystic symbol. This is interesting, especially with 1111. Solidifier. Your partner, the perfect partner, the Two of Cups. Even if some days our partners will vex us or test us, there is an equal offering in the mix here. Believe it or not. Even when you're feeling like, men are so screwball, or men might feel like women are so screwball. It's the perfect partnering. And sometimes this is kindred spirits as in friends as partners. This is a symbol for business, not healing, but business. But also it references weddings and perfect pairing in the romantic realm too. So this is in the recent past. There's something that you have learned through here, regarding this that really is serving. It puts you in this place where you're more lush, and just in the future, don't charge forward too crazy. Here we go. Past, distance, and travel. Okay, this is the sun. Recent past, happy travels, and you're going on the new venture in the future. This is something where everything is expanding and growing and growing. I'm telling you, you need to go on a spring trip to somewhere, and I don't care if it's just across town, but I would get out of the daily realm. I would travel somewhere reasonably close. I would think 2 hours, maybe 3 hours tops. It could be that it's Boise and it's 5 hours, who knows? But it seems like there's going to be travel coming up and expansion and room for growth and happy on that trip because it's going to be new. It's going to be different. All right, the other one. This is the karmic amplitude. You are dropping off a lot of baggage in the recent past. This is leaving the rough waters for the smooth, heading towards what creates peace for you. Whatever creates baggage and difficulty, you're going to be chucking swords over the side. You just don't need them. You have 2 hands, you need 1, maybe 2 swords, that's it. You don't need any more. Just like with the cups, you don't need any more. You don't need pie in the sky nonsense, and you don't need to know everything or tell everything that you do know. You'll just route for peace. You'll steer towards that. This is what's going on. And the ability to discern it is because you've been in this garden space and you go in there in the future where you just send the bird out, like you check the weather, like, yeah, I don't need to be in that shitstorm. I'll steer clear of that. And if people are that storm, you're going to still steer clear of them. All right. That's a lot of knowledge to realize that you just need the 1 or the 2, and that's it. All right. Work is coming up here for the true desire. I think this is something that you want to do that is more task-oriented. You like to have whatever is your skill set valued and valued more. And this is something in the recent past that you've done really well. It doesn't mean you have to stay in that same exact thing, but your talents and your skill sets of the past were to do with definitely counting, definitely making, definitely creating. This is doing the daily realm very dogmatically almost. And that's okay to do it, but it's the card of internship and mastery. I call it the med student card. After he learns all the knowledge, then he goes to practice in the hospital, but he has to learn before. Since it's in the past, it feels like you've had this space where you've learned everything it is that you're supposed to be learning. Now you're going into your own practice, opening up something new in the future here. Okay, so now we're in the subconscious. Subconscious, you're up against your own limiting thoughts, and this is a big one because there's synchronicity happening for you, there's clarity happening for you, but this is making you feel a little constrained, and this is making you feel a little bit stuck. You're not as stuck as you think, and in the past 28 days, this stuck thinking and this not wanting to get out or having difficulty get out of your limiting beliefs might have been vexing you. It's not going to be that way forever. In the future, this guy actually sets those burdens down eventually. This guy actually ditches some of those swords and heads for peace. So it's not going to be forever limited, but it is something that you might be a little bit up against in the last month or so. Okay, so now we're going here. This is past life. We read it as a block going this way. So where these have very specific, these are more fluid and like blam, blam, blam. So we're going to see what goes. And if you see a king or a queen in here, it's supposed to represent a significant partner in your world. So, and it doesn't mean they always come up in here. 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 7, 48, 49. Oh, the Emperor. Ooh. This is strong divine masculine currently in the past life here, probably because of these cards and these cards in the current life here. This tells me the connection with your partner is there for a very intentional reason. Very intentional reason. Protect and provide for the realm is the role that has been done before from this person, and it will be done again, and it's going to be done throughout. This is something that is slated and fated. I don't know how to call it any more clear than that. 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. Yep. And that's a solidifier. So the roles that you play in the masculine and the feminine, it's my personal belief that we're not always in the gender that we are born into in this life. But it feels like in the most recent past life, this person was male. It feels like as much queens are coming through here, and as much of the energy, this life that it's referencing, it feels like you were female in that past life. This person was male, more traditionally played those roles. Here, there's this Two of Rods. This is you partnering. Fate's going to carry you forward. Perhaps things were a little bit not enough in the way of the finances, and perhaps there was a little bit of sting of rejection. It looks like there was a little bit of conflict energy where there's a little bit of words that are said that can't be unsaid, a little bit of bullying energy that didn't sort itself out. Somebody learned a lesson, was ready to move forward here with the Page of Pentacles, wanted what was nostalgic, wanted what was the sweetness, but didn't get it at all times. Got the wish card plenty, but had to defend for it, had to stand strong for it multiple times. There were reminders to come into union, to come into harmony, to come into union, come into harmony. It's something that you are getting more mastery on this lifetime than you did last time, but fate had it set up so you had a few different challenges. One of them was the finances, and one of them is just somebody rejecting the willingness to be in the situation they were in, rejecting something and perhaps wanting to battle just for the sake of the battle. It would strike me that this would be somebody that wanted to battle just to battle, that they might have had lessons to do in battling. That's what that would strike me. And it could be literal, or it could be just their temperament in that particular lifetime was one was like, I know everything, I'm right all the time, I'm going to be right, I don't care if I'm an asshole, I'm going to be right. It would strike me that that's something that might linger, but it's not going to be as prevalent because this is past life. This is recent past life. So the need to battle will be lesser because you have more harmony here. You have more harmony here.
So this is past life before this life.
Before you were even born. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. This is what's going on in your situation, and this is representing someone else. This whole line represents the people and situations, but this is just more to do with you in particular. But if it comes up like this, then it's to do, if it comes up with like king or people that are strong court cards or majors, then yeah, that comes up as you like to have the role of the boss too. But
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think this is something that your partner and you are learning again in this life. If it feels familiar, there's a reason, because it was past life familiar. Okay, this is relationships of the past life, relationship of the giver that ended. Ooh, okay, ooh, okay. Things were cut off short. Let me go. I don't know if you can get this. Let's scooch this. Hopefully, sheesh. Let's see if we can. I don't know if I can get this angle. I'm trying to not get you necessarily, but there we go. Okay, so we've got 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. Okay.
Okay, so like this is supposed
Like
to be
there.
like that.
It's supposed to go right there.
Oh, sorry.
So, but what I'm getting, boom, past life, people and situations. This is something that got cut short. There's giving, and there's giving and receiving, really, really well learned, really well experienced over here. But something cut short, death cut short, and boom, over. Like maybe there was a battle, maybe a literal battle, but this one went in and bammo, shortcut, life cut short is what it feels like. So the connection of the lovers and the contract is made. Okay, we're going to get a do-over. We'll continue this story. This saga will continue, because this looks like early ending. The contract is there. The message is sent out in a big way. There's excitement about the message. The night comes up.
That's upside down.
Yeah. The reversal on this is overly slow. But this one is the one I call slow ride, take it easy. I read primarily in the upright unless it feels energetically upside down, and I'll give you cautions because I just have so many cards. I try to keep these upright during this reading just because we're reading all the damn cards.
Right.
But it's going to be slow coming in. You're going to have to be patient. You're going to be calling it. You're going to have to be patient. Whatever this has happened, it feels like somebody else steps in through here. This feels other than that. It feels like somebody steps in for a while there. This feels like somebody else. And this is about the people. Somebody else to help you balance something for a period of time, to help your spirit get the lesson that it needs to balance. But there's a lot of conflict and arguing and fighting and different agendas going on. Very, very interesting. Strength card here. This is finding the subtle nudge, following it through, and being able to lead the lion, but not forcing it through is the lesson of this card. So you have the ability to tame the beast. It doesn't mean you want to walk around with a stinky-ass lion all the time. You might not want to do that. But this feels like this one comes in as the lion after this one passes away is what it feels like. It feels like the lover's contract in this particular past life It's there. It's
So
there.
this is a past life.
This is past life experiences mostly for you
Mhm.
and some people. This is mostly the people. Now we're going to go over to some situationals over here.
Okay.
So, yeah, and this was given as a gift. The whole process in this particular past life is a gift. Now these read as a block. When I typically read past lives, and I'm not reading this wheel, they'll all read it. The story just unfolds. But what I'm getting is this guy here, who is also here, isn't the same as this guy. You need a balance of black and white. This is you. You could even put this chariot driver as you and these as the two partners here, and the two partners that you experience. And it might be that this goes back even further, but this is the most recent past life. So yeah, this is somebody that is slow to get in the driver's seat.
Oh.
So that's what I would say. And this is somebody that is excellent at building walls for the kingdom.
Okay.
So hopefully you're getting what I'm laying down and you still have your privacy. Okay, so we got 60, 61, 62, 63, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Excellent. Excellent.
So what is, well,
This is all considered as a gift. Though, even though it feels like right here, you didn't have a ton of stuff in your life, the whole situation is the gift. The experience of these two workhorses, so to speak, is the gift.
okay.
That's the gift. So, all right. Now the karmic developments, the karmic seeds and experiences. How do you juggle? How do you juggle? This is the card of either robbing Peter to pay Paul or balancing gas and groceries. It's the juggler. Even though it's kind of unstable, and there is unstable, you have enough strength to continue to juggle. And you're learning flow. You're learning the lesson of temperance. This is the seeds of the lesson of temperance. This is that in the major arcana, and it's now here in the health concerns. The mental temperance is what you're learning now, the balance that way. But there's also seeds that are very much more practical in life that we're trying to balance, and it's over there, card of balance too. Okay, so the Page of Cups. Some of the karmic seed is the identity change. Now, it feels like here, in this part of your life, that you perhaps were younger in your mindset. The way I would put it is less accountable because this is how it was. You know how we would say children were to be seen and not heard and not make choices, and you just were the factory pop out of your parents?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were made to be less accountable. The expectations were different, were set differently. And you weren't supposed to be running the show and running the numbers. I mean, women and bank accounts in the 1970s. I don't know how history took so long for that, but this is what it feels like. So you had these people in your world, and you kind of juggled, but you had to shift your roles, shift your identity. And it's like this one came in first in the past life. This one came in second in the past life as far as chronologically. That's what it feels like. So the order that they came to you was different than what you might be experiencing now. Yeah. So it feels like these experiences of youth you had to have for a little bit. Then this is the waiting for the ship to come in. I call it the Santa Fe burger because you don't chase the waitress down after you put in the order. You get the order. So there was waiting. You knew there would be waiting. And it feels like that part of your experiences was that there was more loss than gained. I think you would have preferred to finish your lifespan through here and through here with this one, but he got toast on the battlefield is what it reads like. For whatever reason, his life was shortened and you lived longer and carried on this way. So we've got here, you feel like you lost more than you gained, but this is waiting for the 2 cups. Where's the 2 cups? Right here in the now. 2 of Swords here. This is the crossroads in the path. You couldn't just go through the whole rest of your life in this lifetime by yourself. You would not have fared well because women didn't do so well in the past. If you had a male protector or a male person that you were associated with contextually, then you had more safety, literally. So this feels like what this is about. You wanted to retreat, you wanted to have safety, and you had to be at the crossroads. You knew you'd have these 2 later. Something in your system knew. Now, that might not be in your conscious belief, but this is past life, and this is the seeds that you put down. You put down the seeds to lose a little bit more this time around to gain the 2 cups in this experience. You were at the crossroads, you knew the choice. This is the soldier that's fallen. This is sometimes retreat, stillness going within, or the person that survives the battle. And sometimes it is the soldier that's fallen, and it's very much the soldier fallen here. Very much here. It's referencing the seed is in this cup here. Hangman, you have to bide your time and wait. The willing sacrifice, you have to wait. The fruits of labor come in later, and there will be victory later. You know this. So you change your perspective on something, and you're like, okay, you do trust karma at this point in your life. You trust what karma is bringing in. You trust the fruits of labor. You trust the law of harvest, but you're thinking beyond this. I think you thought in a way that was a little bit different than the role you were assigned even then. So if they try and put you in a box, I get, don't put baby in the corner from Dirty Dancing.
I've heard that a few times in my life, actually.
Yeah, don't put baby in the corner. And it feels like you go to the water, and if they underestimate you, you're going to surprise them. You have more substance than they think, and you're able to change roles. So you have the victory in what you know, what you've experienced, what your gut or your intuition is telling you is what you follow, and this is what you choose to do. You choose to mark your own path and continue, and this is the miniature dark night of the soul. So you're just getting a little bit of a clue. It might not have felt as intense and charged and dramatic as it is in this lifetime, but some of the players are still on deck, circulating in the flow and in the mix. Now these next cards are where whatever questions you had, we look at them and answer. So if you tell me the questions that you had, we'll look at it.
I don't know that
If you just have general, we'll read it as general.
Okay.
Okay. 71, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. All right. This is what we're getting. This is the answer to the question. The happy family, home, happy ever after card is right here as the lead card. The King of Rods, you're still dealing with Emperor Ego. You're still dealing with a little bit of narcissism, Emperor Ego. You're still dealing with this. And some of it, let's just get real, some of it is sometimes your own ego getting in the way. It's like you will vacillate from your own ego being in the way to poor little me. Why didn't you do this for me? So you know how to play both edges of that sword. Be aware. You're aware you're the Queen of Wands. You know this. You're dealing, this is the Queen of Wands in the present. You know how to deal with this King of Wands energy. You know how to come hither and then like, no, just kidding. Or I really want what I want. And then you realize, fuck, that was my ego talking. I don't have to be an ass on this. So you'll realize this. The Magician, you have all the skill set required to get and manifest what you need. This is a lifetime that is meant to be manifesting, celebrating who you are. Not just tolerated, but literally celebrated. There will have been some betrayal, some heartache, and there's still going to be some heartaches where you have to adjust to whatever the heartache is in life. You still are learning how to heal the heart and different lessons. This doesn't feel personal as far as these two, what it feels like because of how strongly this came in and because of what I know of your situation. It comes in as the thoughts, the thinking, the way we believe, those feel like part of the big betrayal. So because you were raised to buy a certain thing and live in a certain box, but it didn't work for you. It's not a one size fits all. This is something that you realize. This is the Empress in the house here. She knows her value. She knows her kingdom. She knows her realm really, really well. A lot's going to come at you still. A lot has come at you. Multiple things. It's frenzied energy. And then slowing down for the High Priestess. The High Priestess is beautiful. The High Priestess is the Popess. There's the Pope. There's the Popess. She goes to the mystery within. She knows the balance of strength and unity. She sits between the veil of the known and the unknown. Now, if you're entering a High Priestess here, and you very well could be, watch out. Because inner mysteries will unfold. Inner spiritual lessons will unfold. You might shed old friends. There might be different ways of approaching things, different boundaries that you set, different things that are stances that you take without going to battle, but you're just done with doing for everyone else. The lessons that are the deeper lessons are coming in. Some of this that you're giving up, some of the role, say we compare it to emptiness and motherhood. You're not solving all the kids' problem all the time, but there is something that is a lesson to be, where do you fit? How do you fit? What do you want to grow? What are you doing spiritually to grow? That's coming in. This feels like to me, this feels like you are entering a High Priestess year. High Priestess year is a year and a half, typically. It's where you're getting in touch with your spiritual self more and more and more. So from now till I would say probably June, July of 2025, you're going to feel it pretty heavy because we are at the start of the 2024. And you'll have different lessons and different completions and all of this. And it's just these inner mysteries and the inner epiphanies and the aha mentally. you're clearing out debris that you might have believed, like, years ago, I would have never thought I would think maybe there's a past life or past lives, but there's just a few. I do not subscribe to that belief anymore at all. I think there's like multiple, a plethora of past lives. Universe is too big for us to only have just one. So those kinds of beliefs might be re-jostling in your mind. And then the new work, the new joy. This is the card of family and work and inspiration. It's the card of swing and power, coming into your power big here, coming into your power big here, regarding how you do this and how you do this. Big. The being celebrated for everything that you can do is something you're going to learn to let go of and just be. You're just going to be celebrated for just fucking existing. That's enough. That's enough of the gift. You don't have to prove anything anymore. You don't have to do 1,000,000 miles an hour. No, you just want to be in your happy space, and you've learned how to do that. That's what I've got. So I'm going to close this out, but that is the Rhadue's wheel.
Nice.
And then we'll just hit stop, and I'll upload it for you a little later.